Okay, am I audible? Think I'm audible. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about machine learning. Okay, so what is machine learning? Okay, so why we use machine learning? Okay, basically in modern society we generate lots of data. Okay, we generate lots of data. Let's say if you use mobile for mobile, why do you want to use mobile besides calling? Okay, so you want to use social media, Instagram, Instagram, then YouTube, and then Facebook. This kind of social media platform. Okay, so you use mobile for, let's say, Uber. Okay, to book cab. Okay, so you use Swiggy. Okay, to book to order food. Okay, so basically nowadays we generate lots of data from our mobile. Okay, so let's say if you ordered a food, let's say biryani, so you just open the account in Swiggy and you just ordered biryani. Next time they will suggest that you should order biryani. So that is a basic recommendation system. So how this recommendation system works? So this is basically nothing but machine learning. So what is the difference between traditional programming language and the machine learning? Okay, I'll explain. So you can write. So what is machine learning? So I'll just tell you the difference between AI and ML. So basically, there's nothing difference. So it's a ML is a subset of AI. Okay, so I talked about it earlier. Okay, if it is AI, then this is machine learning, and this is deep learning. Okay, so this is basically we can see what is the difference between AI and ML. So what is the traditional programming language? Okay, so in traditional programming, what we do, we have data that is called input. Okay, input, let's say we want to add 2 plus 2. Okay, so 2 plus 2, it's inputs. Okay, so and we put it in a program. It is, let's say, calculator is a program. So um, traditional programming output. So this is traditional programming. Okay, so what is the difference between traditional programming and machine learning? Okay, so in traditional programming, we just give the input and we will write a program. Using that program, we'll get to know the output. So if you give a addition if you write an addition program, okay, then it will produce the output. Okay, so I will show you. So now in case of machine learning, so what happened machine learning, so we have to somehow we have to feed data to machine so that it learns. Okay, that is the basic meaning of machine learning. Okay, so I'll give you the definition. Machine, so what is machine learning? So basically it is the field of study that gives computer capability to learn without being explicitly programmed. So I will give you an example. So let's consider we watch a movie on Netflix. Okay, movie on Netflix. So it's a genre of horror. Okay. So what Netflix will think that you will watch another horror movie. Okay. So they are taking some data. So they are feeding a person. If a person watch horror movie, it's likely to very much likely to watch another horror movie. Okay. So that is basically they have programmed some algorithm or you can say model behind the back, so that will be able to tell us whether he will watch horror movie or another movie. Okay, so this is the example of this traditional programming, how traditional programming works. Okay, we have data, we have and program, we will give the data to the program and it will generate the output. But in case of machine learning, so we will give data and output both at the similar time to some machine learning, and it will produce some program or model. So what I mean to say, let's say we will give some data. Let's say you will watch this type of movie you want to watch. Okay, so if you choose horror, so there will be some category. So horror movie category, let's say some movie names are there, 1 2 3, these are movie names. Okay, in here if we choose horror, then it will display this kind of movies. Okay, so basically if we choose horror is a category. Okay, then this will display horror movies. So output is this things. Okay, this is a category and this is the outputs. Okay, so we will provide the program. So these are the type of movies that can be considered as horror movies. So we'll feed using some algorithm, and then they will give us some model. Okay, model or program. So basically we will train the model. Okay, so I'll explain how to train all these kind of things. So basically, there are three types of machine learning are there. Okay, so machine learning are basically three type. Okay, so one is supervised. So I have told about this earlier classes I take. Unsupervised. Okay, then one is reinforcement learning. Okay, so basically name suggests this supervised. Supervised means, so we have to give the, I'll give an example. Okay, so recently election happened, as you know, Lok Sabha election happened. Okay, some exit polls are there. So some companies are there, they are running some exit polls. Okay, so they are collecting data from, let's say, sample size of 1000 people. Sample size of 1000 people. Okay, they are asking, who, what do you think that who will win, BJP or Congress or some other party? Okay, so let's say 600 people told, 600 people told that BJP will win. 400, 350 says Congress will win. Then some 50 people saying other candidates. Okay, so basically the sample size is 1000 people. Okay, so this might be bigger also. So if the sample size is bigger, then the accuracy of the model might increase. Okay, let's say if I ask all of you, okay, you are like 23. If I ask you about some opinion about some political leader, okay, you will have different opinions, but some of those opinions might be similar. Okay, let's say 10 people say some person is good. Okay, 20 people are saying that that person is bad. Okay, he is not good, so he is bad. So I'll consider the majority. Okay, so basically we will explain this type of behavior to our computer or this algorithm. Okay, that if people are saying these people is bad or good. Okay, so basically we will feed the data, so that is supervised. So we are feeding, so you are saying that these people is good or bad, you are convincing the machine. Okay, so that's why it's called supervised. So in here some training data are there. Training data, and here both inputs are there. Okay, input means this 1000 people inputs. Okay, let's for this case. Okay, and all the outputs also. What are the outputs? What these people think that who will won the election or this kind of that are outputs. So you have to feed the input also the output. Okay, so example is classification. I'll explain you later. Classification. Then some naive Bayes algorithm is there. Okay, so basically what is this supervised? Okay, first just consider. So let's see some 1000 people we consider. Okay, person one, that is input. Okay, input 1 or input 2 you can. Okay, so he will give some output whether Congress will won or this will won. Okay, input 2. Okay, so these are kind of data. So this is the training data. Based on which we will design an algorithm. So if 1000 people saying that BJP will win, then we'll say that if let's say if BJP will win, then we'll declare that BJP might be the winner. Okay, might be. It's not possible because the sample size is very low, 1000. Been here 100 crore, more than 100, sorry, 130 crore people are there. So 1000 might be a small sample size. Okay, so sample size is also important. So by feeding this input and output, we'll design some learning algorithm. Okay, so we'll design some algorithm, so it will give some model. Okay, in this model we will give some new input. Okay, this will produce some new output. Okay, so this is basically an example of supervised learning. Okay, so let's say if a pizza, 3 types of pizza are there. Okay, so one is 8 inch, one is 10 inch, one is 12 inch. Okay, so if we give the price 10, 20, 30 rupees, so we'll provide some data. Okay, so you are saying that by increasing 4 inch, it's increasing by 10. For 16, you can tell that it will 40 rupees by looking the pattern. Okay, so we have to feed this data to the system. We have to feed the machine with these inputs. Okay, then he might able to produce. So so it's increasing. We have to also mention that it is increasing by, if 4 inch increase, then it will increase 10 rupees. Okay, so by this kind of logic, the machine will able to tell that 16 inch pizza costs 40 rupees. So this is a simple example, very simple example. Okay, so then what is the unsupervised? So unsupervised algorithm, I will tell you an example. Okay, so in here only inputs will be given. Okay, so have you seen the movie PK? So PK movie आपने देखा होगा शायद. K means, okay, let's say कोई मिल गया. Okay, or PK, you can consider any example. So in that case, so if you are new to the art, okay, so how will differentiate between animal, any animal, and human? So you will see the, you have the sensor organ. Okay, you have the sensor organ. Okay, let's say if you are an alien. Okay, if you have the sensor organ, so you have to differentiate between human and other animal. So how you will notice? So sensor organ you will use to get input data is eye. So eye in in this case eye will be our sensory organ. Okay, through eye we will see that. So human has two legs. Okay, two legs, two hand, two eye, etc., etc. Okay, so human feature actually basically I'm saying, but in case of other animal they will see four legs. Okay, and this kind of things, four legs, and they don't speak. Okay, they don't speak. This kind of things we will notice by, if you are an alien then you will learn, oh, these things. So if we see, if a person or if an animal talks, then the possibility of human being, there's a 90%, okay, or 100%. So basically consider the machine as a alien. Okay, he does not know. So by interpreting the data by itself, then it will be able to tell whether it is a dog, whether it is a cat. Okay, so whether it is a human or whether it is a other animal. So defines. So if I give you to difference between, so if I train an algorithm to difference between cat and dog. Okay, how will you know? So some features will be there. Those are different between dog and cat. So in size, dog are more bigger. Dog are bigger than cat, and this kind of features are there. Okay, so that is basically an example of unsupervised learning. So I'm not suggesting you anything. I'm just telling you, just differentiate between I will give you some pictures, just you differentiate between cat and dog. Okay, whether it is a cat or dog. So by your knowledge you will able to know that whether it is a uh, cat or dog through your experience. Similarly in machine case also, he will know. If we provide lots of cat and dogs photo, let's say we are uh, if we provide lots of photo, then he will uh, segregate into two clusters. Okay, one will be in cat, one will be in dog category. Okay, and there might be some error, there are some error in the algorithm such that it might tell you that a cat photo as a dog photo. Okay, that outlier is there. Okay, there is some errors are there in unsupervised algorithm, also supervised algorithm. So in reinforcement learning, so now we know about the unsupervised algorithm. Now we'll know about reinforcement learning. So what is reinforcement learning? So reinforcement learning basically depend upon, it is also known as reward or penalty. So cue learning. So I'll show you. Okay, so cluster, so I will tell you the different types of supervised unsupervised machine learning also. So before going to that, so I'll tell you about reinforcement learning. Okay, so basically in reinforcement learning, so there is agent and there is environment. Okay, so if we do any action, if we do perform any action, then the environment state will give some output. Okay, that output is known as reward. Okay, let's we train a baby. Okay, we train a baby and one whom, let's say a young baby, will tell him, will show him that if you, let's say he is writing in some wall. Okay, he is writing. Okay, he is writing with pencil in, let's say in our wall. So we don't want that. So though they are small, so that's why they don't know so where to write or where to actually draw. Okay, but we just show them that if you don't write in wall, then we'll give them some reward means candy. We'll give some candy if they don't write in wall. If they don't write in wall, write or draw in wall, or some other work also we can train them. Let's say if they are not drinking milk, we'll not give any trophy. Okay, so if he is not drinking any coffee or sorry milk, he will not get any candy. So he knows that. So first day, if he drinks the milk, we'll give him the candy. By they have a basic brain is there, na? Baby have a small brain, but they will understand that if he is not drinking the milk, he will not get the candy, so he will not getting the reward. Okay, so that is basically example of reinforcement learning. So basically we are learning from the environment. Okay, so I'll tell you. So basically what you can tell about reinforcement learning. So it's a branch. RL is a branch of ML. ML means machine learning. Focused on making decision to maximize cumulative rewards in a given situation. So in case of supervised learning, so which is rely on the training data set. Okay, so we have to rely on the data that has been given to predict some answers. Okay, but in RL, so in RL the machine will learn through experience. So if it does not drink milk, we will not give any reward, that is candy, and if he drinks milk, then we will give him a candy. So that is a based on learning. So reinforcement learning, basically an agent learns to achieve a goal in an uncertain or potentially a complex environment. Okay, so okay, there are two type of reinforcements are there. So one is positive reinforcement and one another is negative. Okay, so it is one is positive effect on the behavior and another is the negative. Positive means if you get the candy, that is positive. If he does not get the candy, It is a kind of a negative reinforcement. Okay. So next I will tell you about the different type of supervised and unsupervised algorithm. So first we will start with supervised. Okay, first we will start with supervised. Okay, so basically supervised learning learns from the level data or level input. Okay, so basically there are two types of supervised learning are there. One is regression, another is classification. Okay, I'll tell you the difference between regression and classification. First we'll go through it. Okay, so basically what is regression? So regression is a type of supervised learning that is used to predict continuous values. Okay, that I will tell you. Okay, what is regression? I will tell you. So you know about variables. Let us consider two variables are there, x and y. X and y. So what is x and what is y? Let's consider an example. Okay, so if you study x amount of hours, then you will get some y amount of marks. Okay, so we know from our basic knowledge that if you study more, then you will get the number more. Okay, you will get more marks in the exam. Okay, so basically x is, or if you don't want to go through that example, if you, let's say x is the age of a car, age of a car. Okay, then y is price of the car. Okay, so in here there are two variables. Okay, x and y. So what is the independent variable in between these two? Which one is the independent variable and which one is the dependent variable? Can anybody tell me? In these two case, let's first case hours and marks. Which is the dependent and then which one is the independent?
Sir, X is independent and Y is dependent.
Okay, so basically you are saying how many hours you study, that is independent, and how many marks you will get, that will depend upon how many hours you read. So that is basically the marks is dependent upon number of hours you read or study. Okay, so in similar case, age of the car is a independent variable, but price of the car is dependent. Okay, so basically one will depend upon another. Okay, so basically the dependent variable we have to predict we need to predict the dependent variable, and independent variable on the basis of which we have to predict on the basis. Okay, I think you will get. Okay, if you have more experience, company will give you more salary. Okay, so basically number of years in experience is a independent variable, but the salary you will get, that is depend upon this variable, number of work years in experience. Okay, so that will depend upon the salary, will depend upon your experience. So that is salary is dependent variable. Okay, so we will learn about regression. So what is regression? Okay, so we'll draw a graph. In x-axis we'll always take independent variable. Okay, always we'll take the independent variable, and in y-axis we'll take dependent. Okay, yeah, dependent variable. Okay, so first take the this case, number of hours you study. Okay, you study or anything, study or marks. If you read more, the marks will increase, so the graph will be like this. So basically if you read more, then your marks will be increasing. So this is called positive and positive regression. If you take another example, x y, so let's consider the vehicle age. So vehicle is and here price of the car. Here age of the car. So the graph will be like this. Okay, so if age of the car increases, then the price will drop. So if you want to buy a 2020 car, you will give more price than a 2015 car. So basically this is negative regression. Okay, so there are multiple type of regression is also there. So one is as linear regression. Okay, so linear regression is nothing but this kind of regression, that is two variable is only there, x and y. Okay, so what is multilinear regression? Okay, in this case regression, so in here one variable depend upon, y is depend upon only one variable, age of car we only see, then we'll predict the price. But in case of multilinear regression, so there may be more than one dependent variable. Okay, what I meant to explain, I'll tell you. Okay, age of car is there, one variable. How many kilometers you drive, and let's say some other example factors may be condition of the tire. Okay, condition of tire. So there might be many variable might be there. Okay, so that will depend upon the price of the car. So there are many variable, x, z, a, b, c, d. There are lots of variables are there. So based on that we will know about the price of the car. So this is multilinear equation. So why I'm saying linear? Okay, why I'm saying linear, this graph is linear. Okay, sometimes what might happen, so let's say it varies. Okay, it varies to some, this kind of graph we can attain. Okay, this kind of graph we might be obtained. So that the variable might not be linear, so that is called non-linear regression. Okay, we'll talk about it later. Okay, so basically this is linear regression. Okay, basic regression, x is depend upon y. So how many hours you study, and in this case how many hours you study, that is depend upon your marks. That might not be only the case. Okay, let's say if you study smarter, okay, how you are using some techniques. Okay, that is also some variable. Okay, so that might be also happen that some people might study less but they might get more marks. That might also happen. Okay, that will depend upon other factors, that is IQ of a student. Okay, okay, IQ of a student is more than the others, then the which have the more IQ, then he need not to study more much. Okay, so he will get more marks. So that is multi linear regression. So I think you it is clear. So I will tell you an example. Okay, if there's time. Okay, well, just I'll draw this. Okay, just I'll explain it in next class. So the maths behind the linear regression we'll see in the next class. Okay. Okay, I'll discuss this linear regression using an example. Okay, using an example in the next class. So if you have any question, then ask me. So I will stop it for today here. So I'll give this maths in the next class. It will take some time. Is there any question? Okay, then we'll meet in the next class. Okay, from Friday I will start programming. Okay, so from Friday, because we are getting into machine learning now, we can now start programming. Okay, so I will start in the Friday little bit fast search and a fast search. I'll teach you how to do that using Python programming. Okay, in the Friday class. Okay, thank you then.